What is good, NIO family? It's Rey-Jay back with another video, and in this one I'm going to be talking about the one and only NIO stock and what you should be looking after for the future. I'm also going to break down why tomorrow is going to be a very interesting day because it's going to be the last full day of trading for the markets before CPI comes out. That's right. Tomorrow is going to be the last full day. Then on Tuesday, before the market opens, we're going to see CPI come out, and that will affect how the market moves. So I'm going to break down how this could affect NIO's share price, what the data is telling us, and what you should be watching for. And before I break anything down, though, before I get into any more details, I do have to mention a couple of things before starting. Firstly, I'm not a financial planner. Make sure you take none of this as financial advice whatsoever. And also, if you guys can, please smash the like button if you want to see more videos like this. It not only benefits me, it benefits the entire NIO community as a whole. And the last thing is, if you guys can, please check out the Moomoo link down below and in the description. If you sign up for Moomoo, the link down below, and deposit $100 into the account, you're guaranteed 5 free stocks plus free level 2 data with $0 in trading commissions, and you'll also have very low margin rates. It's a limited time offer. The offer ends in just 2 days. Check it out before they run out. With that out of the way, let's get on with the video. Looking at the market, guys, things are very interesting. So on Monday, we have one Fed speaker before the market opens, and then the market is just going to be getting ready for CPI. I believe there are going to be lots of market makers that might try to push the market up because of what the put volume is telling us, right? The amount of puts that are out there, they might try to push us up, and this could be a trap. There is a high probability it's a trap because they want people to turn super, super bullish going into CPI. They want a lot of the bullish sentiment to remain intact. And the problem is, as we hit these high levels, I don't really see the market flying up too much or like being that crazy because we also have a lot of bears. The big bears are coming. Big institutions are starting to short at the top because they do not trust the rally. So it's like a fight between two giants, and we're kind of in the middle of it. What's interesting is the call volume in the markets is still relatively high. These levels are still high compared to a lot of the previous months of the year. So there are a lot of people still loading up on calls, buying the dips. Retail is still bullish. But I want to note that when you look at the data for CPI, all right, the new revised version of it, so there's a different way that they're calculating it basically. Housing is going to make up a bigger part of it. And if anything, housing has actually not gone down to the rates people thought it would just yet. We need a little bit more patience. But seeing energy go up, seeing lumber go up, seeing food go up, all these things are they're all favoring the odds that CPI is going to be either as expected, which is a little bit high, or it's going to be higher than expected, right? An increase month over month. That's going to be very interesting. And historically, Januaries do tend to see higher CPI readings. So, am I guaranteeing anything? No, it still could be lower. It is possible. If it's lower, the rally could continue in the markets, but the odds are favoring. Like I said, it's more likely it's going to be a higher CPI or a CPI at expectations. I wanted to make that very clear. I wanted the best for everyone. When I say that, there are articles coming out saying that the January CPI could be a massive shock to the market, and they do believe there's going to be a big jump coming. Now, if people are expecting it, there's also a chance it might not come as expected, but there are analysts out there, such as Morgan Stanley analysts, that are saying that CPI is going to be hot. Please be ready. I can't guarantee anything. No analysts know the future, but like I said, the odds are favoring that. Now, as far as NIO goes, the volume was a little low, and we did actually close down 1.53%. Also, the majority of the volume was actually pretty much almost 50-50 in terms of short and long volume. That's a pretty decent sign because NIO is kind of in the middle, a little bit indecisive, and I believe whether this thing breaks down or not will depend on CPI. Now, it has been underperforming the market, but when we tend to see the price pairs ratio reach these lows, we tend to see a reaction bounce somewhere around here because NIO is near its lowest points we've seen it over the last year and a half. I'm saying this because we do tend to see the thing bounce around these levels. And as far as data goes and in news, I mean, there was not really too much. We saw a slight increase in the short interest. There's not too much other than the fact that there are some FUD articles. I want to note though that there were some tensions involving China over the weekend again with the balloons. Another one was spotted in front of Canada and over Canada, and it was shot down. So who knows, guys? This could be some negative news. I'm hoping it doesn't affect NIO too much. I just want to note that from a technical standpoint, it looks like the market might try to get a bounce because SPY did see some buyers come at the end of the day, and we did close above 408, which was major resistance. So I believe that they might try to push this thing to 410, 412, and in a crazy extreme possibility, there is this gap up here around 415. I don't know if we're going to get that high. It would be very surprising to me, but it could be a trap, right? It could be a trap, so you have to be prepared for that. Now, I want to talk about something else that's interesting, and that's going to be what we're seeing from the QQQ. On the QQQ, this thing did come down and tried to push, and it failed to break above 300. It might try to reclaim 300. Is there a gap here? No, there's not a gap. It might try to reclaim 300 and get back to about 305 around that area. It's very possible because we did see this thing become quite oversold compared to SPY. It is actually underperforming, which is not the best of signs for the tech sector. For NIO, I want to note that because the US dollar index is continuing to push up and the VIX is also pushing up for the market, the odds do favor downside in the future. But for the short term, I'm looking at this gap right here, and it does look like NIO could come to the mid 10s. My target is this, and I think that the best way to actually look at NIO before I give you guys my prediction is to look at the levels and be prepared for anything first. All right, so if you're bullish, here's the bullish perspective. A fill of this gap, a retest of 10.8, a break above this. If we break 10.8, which is major resistance, the 11s could come. If NIO comes down, right, once again, this is the bearish possibility. It has to try to hold 10. If it fails at 10, it's going to come down to 9.7. If that fails, there's 9.5. There is strong support in this area, so it might try to bounce around here. What do I think is going to happen, okay? I think what's going to happen is NIO is going to push up a little bit, and we're going to try to fill this gap temporarily. Then we're going to chop back and forth, but we might get a somewhat green close. That's my guess, a somewhat green close. And I think that the market's just going to kind of hang out around this level, maybe not crash too much or not explode too much. We're just going to hang out a little bit until we get ready for CPI. And CPI is going to be the make or break for the rally in the markets. So that's what I have for this video. I hope that's as clear as possible for you guys. Please be ready for CPI. It's going to be huge. And with that out of the way, please enjoy your Super Bowl weekend. It is Super Bowl Sunday. I'm sure you guys are watching it. I hope a lot of you guys have a good time. Please stay safe, and I'll most definitely see you guys in the next video. NIO to the moon, because the long-term future is still incredibly bright, and peace out.